Hello YouTube, this is Cooking Components again. Today I have another N64 on my workbench and I've got these two packages. My longer time viewers might already have seen an N64 recap and an N64 Ultra HDMI mod, and this is another HDMI mod, and as you might be able to see, these capacitors have already been changed. So I thought when I do an HDMI mod, I will also change all the capacitors. But yeah, I've done such a video, so it wouldn't be very interesting to just do it again. So I skipped that part and I also cleaned the console. So we can now just start by installing the mod. So let me first take a look into the package. I mean a small unboxing. Yeah, there's no box around it, but yeah, call it an unboxing. Ooh, a lot of stuff. By the way, when you're just quickly scanning this QR code because you think there's something special behind it, no, it's only the installation manual. Okay, so there's one flat flex cable, which will be soldered to the CPU, GPU, whatever, and then to some other components on the board, and after that connected to the PCB that is inside here. We got some 3D printed parts, and I think they shall be broken free. Wait for the manual. This is an antenna. A flat flex cable, and I think that's for the HDMI extension. Yeah. One side comes into here, one side comes into here, and then you just have an HDMI extension. Wow. Amazing. And this is rocket science. And yeah, 2 screws, 2 nuts, and I think this is a thermal pad. Okay, now the other package. Oh, that's welded shut, so I'll need something to open this up. And here we have the main board. And as far as I know, one of the special tricks of the retro G.E.M is that this board can be used for multiple consoles. So it's not only made for the N64, but you can also install it inside of a, I think, PlayStation 2. Don't quote me on that. There are a lot of different kits with the same main board that can be installed in different consoles. So there are some solder jumpers that can be set. There are different cable harnesses that can be installed. And that is also the reason why this board comes with a special HDMI extension. So it can be mounted inside of the N64 and then the HDMI can be extended to the rear of the N64 console. And so it is not necessary to design the main board of the retro G.E.M in a way that it fits precisely the N64, but it can be designed in a shape that it fits multiple consoles. And yeah, for how you get the HDMI outside of your console is then a job of an extension cable. So this is a nice looking PCB, all black like on most PCBs today. It's a design question, nothing special about the black color. Yeah, there are a lot of components fitted to the PCB. Tryon, I don't know what this is. Lattice might be an FPGA. I think this down here is an espressive chip. That's clearly for the wireless communication. There's the antenna connector, a button, perhaps for reset or bringing the chips into a special mode. I don't know. Some flash up here. Yeah, and I think this is a RAM module and an EEPROM. Nothing on the backside except for wiring and wires. I don't know what this connector is all about. Maybe this is just for production programming, because I don't see test points on the back of this PCB. Yeah, and a whole lot of jumpers for configuring this PCB. That's quite interesting. Can we test fit this? Oh, see that? It fits this capacitor. Oh, nice design detail. Yeah, the capacitor looks a little bit lonely on this edge. But obviously they decided they needed it. So on this flat flex cable, there are some interesting points. So this edge on the front will be soldered directly to one of the ICs of the N64. Then there is something marked with CLK, which might be a designator for clock. So maybe you can access the clock signal here for some reasons. Then they have populated some ICs on this PCB. I guess they needed them especially close to the signal sources. Yeah, then there are some soldering points for wires. And this here I read in the manual is a jumper where you can configure if you installed this kit on a PAL version of the console or an NTSC version of the console. And I think this broken out wire here is for the power supply. Oh, it's quite thin. I expected it's thicker, but if it's enough, it's enough. So these are some printed plastic parts that help mounting the components inside of the N64. And as you might be able to see, they are printed in a way that they adhere to another, but they aren't really connected. So they are meant to be broken apart. If I can do it. Yeah. So it's like one or two layers that were connected. And the rest is not connected. Oh, they are connected quite good. I think I need pliers or knife for this. So before installing this mod, I want to make sure that this N64 is actually working. Nothing. This looks good to me. Yeah, nice. Okay, so this picture is actually grabbed from the analog output. So it's converted by a RetroTink to HDMI and then grabbed with the standard off-the-shelf HDMI video grabber. And yeah, this looks quite good. I'm not really sure if this Microsoft Surface is actually capable of grabbing this video, but at the moment the recording seems to be working. So yeah, okay, this works. Yeah, nice. The Surface is actually starting to scream right now. So I think that's enough testing. We can proceed with the mod. Nice. So I was just skipping through the manual and it says that we should start after taking the console apart, which we already did. We should start by creating a hole for the mini HDMI port in the back of the console's chassis. But I don't want to do this, so I just started the 3D print of these two files that you can use to do a so-called no-cut mod. So you print a replacement part for this plastic part, which already has a small notch for the HDMI port. The only downside to this no-cut mod is that you won't be able to use the analog out video and HDMI on the same time, but I'm not planning to do this, so I don't want to file a hole in my chassis. I will just print a replacement part for this. And for the curious among you, this is how the HDMI connector would fit in the N64 casing. Only under the HDMI connector, a small piece of plastic needs to be cut away so that the HDMI connector could fit there. But I will print a small plastic part that goes under the PCB and lifts it up to the height of the plastic part back here, and then we'll have a replacement for this part that fits on top of here and actually has the cutout for the HDMI port. So it's not in the bottom side of the housing, it's in this I don't know, how is it called? Multi-out housing? Yeah. So we'll replace this part and don't have to cut any holes in our console. Okay, what else do we need? We need a soldering iron, we need flux, multimeter, alcohol, Captain tape, wires, and clock control and jumpers. Okay, so I'll look in the jumper settings quickly. Between the N64 and the N64 clock mode, there's only one difference. You see only jumpers J and K are closed. That are these two jumpers near the antenna connector. And for the clock mod, the A jumper also needs to be closed. But I don't want to do a clock mod. It is not really stable, they say in the manual, for PAL consoles. And I don't want to play NTSC games, at least not with a corrected clock sync. I don't need this feature. Okay, console disassembly. We did that. Creating mini HDMI port hole. We won't do that. We do a no-cut mod. Installing the HDMI board. So, yeah. Okay, I need these 3D printed parts, but I don't think they are done. Let's skip that step. Soldering the RCP Flex. RCP is, I think, this chip, and I think it means a reality coprocessor. So that's the GPU, and that is the CPU, and that's the RAM. And the, for me, funny thing is that the GPU or reality coprocessor has all the RAM of the system, and if the CPU needs to access the RAM, it needs to ask the GPU to give it access. And also the GPU has full control over the cartridge, so I don't know what is the coprocessor here. I think the CPU is the coprocessor and the reality engine is the main processor. The N64 is a little bit strange for me. So I think the next step would be to solder this flat flex cable in. And it should be aligned to pin 6. Let's do this. So the picture says to solder this wire to pin 6. So let's try this. Using a little bit of flux and leaded solder. I don't know why they specified leaded solder. Okay, maybe this console is old enough to not be using lead-free solder. I mean, soldering such small details is always a little bit challenging, but that's a lot of flux. Okay. But doing it in front of a camera is even more challenging. Capacitor's in the way. Yeah, where's my solder? I swear I had solder on that tip. I don't know why, but this doesn't sound like I want it to sound. Actually, I think it doesn't look too bad. So I think for me this looks like a very good soldered flat flex cable. I hope you can see this too. Maybe we can get a little bit closer to the camera. Yeah, I think this looks good to me. Beautiful. So next the manual tells us to connect some small wires between the contact points on the flat flex to the PIF chip or U6. Yeah, they don't they state which signals should be connected, but they don't state which pins of the IC it should be. But yeah, I think the picture says it all. Well, let's do that. Yeah, it's not the best way to get the insulation of a wire. And I don't have anything to hold it in place. Wait a moment. So I think I'll just trigger some people by tinning the wire just above the board in mid-air. Yeah, nothing dripped on the board. So everything is okay. Nothing to complain about. So pin 2 goes to the RC pad on the wiring harness or on the flat flex, however you want to call it. Next cable. That's tied in there. Oh, looks okay to me. I'm just wondering how many people are crying in the comments. Where's the last wire going? I'm not really seeing it. Okay. It seems to be pin 27. Okay. All 3 wires connected. So, does the manual say something about the solder bridge? Ah, okay. At the end, if you have a PAL console solder jumper found on the flex cable. That one. But yeah, we can do it now. Skip the other steps. We'll get to them later. Yeah, big fat solder blob. Okay, so the steps before were folding the cable, and then connecting the 5-volt cable. That's just a cutout piece of this flat flex. So let me bend the cable. Carefully without kinking it. Because when you kink it, it breaks, and that would ruin our day. So not only my day, the days of all of you. Okay, looks good to me. And now we can try to solder the 5-volt connection. Doesn't look really great. Okay, looks better. I don't care. You can do it better if you want. Next up, testing. What? Ah, okay. Multimeter test. Yeah, but it looks like we should test everything. Okay. So where should I measure? Oh. That's the cartridge. So there. Okay, my probe has connection. And now to ground. No connection. That's good. So we have no short. At least not between 0 volts and ground. The 5-volt rail. Also nothing. There's nothing too. Beautiful. So I just noticed that I talked about the jumper settings, but I didn't do them. That wouldn't be a successful test. So I'll just solder these 2 jumpers. Beautiful. 2 beautifully soldered jumpers. Okay, I need to connect a lot of stuff now. Bear with me for a second. I don't like test runs. They're a waste of time. At least if you don't make mistakes. Oh, you can't see everything, so there's the retro G.E.M. There's a game cartridge. And don't forget, you need a jumper pack or a memory module or nothing will happen on the screen. And the next part will be the power supply, and it's getting very clogged on my table. Oh man, I think you don't need to see the console. Oh, I should plug this power supply in. Okay, if there's smoke, you want to see it. Nothing so far, but the switch isn't on. Okay, the LED is on. And we have picture. Oh, picture's gone, picture's there. Okay, looks good. I don't have a controller connected. So in with the controller. Reset button pushed. Oh, what happened there? Come on. Okay, game starts. Looks good, sounds good. Yeah, skip that. Skip that. Okay, controller's working. Beautiful. So we shouldn't let that running too long because it could overheat. This is what I call a successful test. So you can now go on and give this video a thumbs up. I think it deserves it. Okay, the device is working. I didn't test getting in the menu, but I used the controller on the game, so I think the connection for the controller is working. And that's only this one wire. I didn't test reset. I hope it works. And what's RC for? I don't know, and I don't care. Audio's working. So we don't do the clock mod. So we can skip this part, but if we would do the clock mode, we would have to disconnect a pin and set the solder jumper A, and I think that's it. I still don't know what this clock jumper does. And in one of the pictures, I saw it soldered. So in this picture, it's clearly soldered, but they don't mention it. Okay, I'll search later. I didn't find it, so I don't know. Okay, finish up. There needs to be a piece of Kapton tape on the metal shielding. I don't know why. Ah, okay, because this part could somehow hit the metal shielding. I don't know. I saw people on the internet put a lot of small strips of Kapton tape there. I think I've got a better solution. Let me get this in the picture. So this is the piece of metal we want to put Kapton tape on. And this is the roll of Kapton tape. Big roll. Ah, no. It ripped. I hate this. I think I need new scissors. They aren't cutting very well. Could be a little bit too much. It's not cutting very well. So the complete area is secured. Nothing will short there. Yeah, you can imagine how this goes onto there. And this small hole here isn't needed. Could have put more Captain tape on there. More is better, I heard. Cut the alignment pin. Okay. Okay, finishing up. Captain tape is done. They want us to cut the alignment pin out. I don't like this, but think we do not have another option. Oops. Wait a minute. They have the HDMI port in, so maybe we should go back to the option at the top where they created the hole. They installed the HDMI board and somehow I got on the dark mode button. So there are some plastic parts. There is the HDMI board. We are in the no cut option. And here are my already printed parts. Okay, it goes under there, despite the plate in the way. Oh. We should cut away a part of the board? Interesting. Ah yeah, there was that step. And uses the shorter spacer. So these two plastic parts are the same if you don't look at the height. And the smaller part is the one we should use. But before that, let me break this part off. That broke more than I expected. Oh, okay. For all you out there, be careful. I just bent my board. Okay. How can I do this without breaking the board? Okay, I think I bend it back in position as good as I could do it. Maybe I should connect the flex cable. How? Up or down? So in this picture there is a reflection, but it looks like that the plastic spacer, even if it's not blue or just reflecting, but it is on the top. You see that there's a thick part on the top of this flat flex, so I'll put it in this way. Go in. Huh? Won't go in. Now it went in. Okay, I can perhaps get the reflection right, so yeah, that looks correct to me. Okay, and we broke it out of the way so it doesn't collide with the metal shield. Okay. Then are there further instructions? No? Okay. Oh, the small plastic part. Yeah. This pins up or down. I think down because I can't see them anymore. Okay. If it fits, it fits. Where are my finishing touches? There are my finishing touches. Install the M2 nuts into the 3D printed part. Okay. One nut. Second nut up there. Okay. There's a little plastic string in the way. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, contrast isn't doing its best. But there's a small plastic string in this corner and I need to get it out or I won't get the nut in. That's it. Yeah, nut is in. Nice. The other hole is open. Nut is in. Perfect. Okay. Mount metal nuts. Okay. CPU 09 motherboards. I have 001. So that's not for me, and I also don't have these big cutouts. Okay, now we should put the plastic piece on there. But when I no, I didn't notice. They already installed the metal shield. Yeah, okay. They write it here. So let's install the main board and the metal shield. The main board is in. Could this rub on the cable? Perhaps. So maybe I want to do a little bit more of the Kapton tape. Just on this corner here. So that the flat flex cable won't rub open there. So now we can install the plastic. Ooh, wait a moment. Stop. Cut. We need to go back a step. Because I like a little bit of thermal grease between this metal plate and the components, or the heat spreaders or metal blocks on the components. So let me just put a little bit there, and I don't really care how it's distributed. I only care that there's a little bit of thermal grease. Okay. So now go on with the show. It's okay. So now we can install the plastic part. Okay, install the antenna first. I don't know why, but they write that. Now install the G.E.M board. No, too small. Okay, it's a non-magnetic screw. They want to test us here. Okay, I think the nut is turning with, at least on that one down there. Insert the flex cable. Picture doesn't really show the flex cable. Ah, no, the HDMI flex cable. I see. And on this one, the blue tape is on the top. Can we see the other one in another picture? Yeah. So there the blue piece is on top too. So we decided the correct way. How can we route this cable nicely? I think that's okay. Do they have another picture? Okay, I think they folded it the other way around, but seems not really to make a difference. Who cares? And when did they put the big flat flex cable in? I mean, no picture really shows it. I think we are just good to go somehow in there. The bend doesn't look good to me. And the pictures don't give it away. Yeah, but the starting point is the same. They have a bend here and a bend here. Okay, yeah. Somehow this way. Okay. Okay, now all the metal parts should be put back together. Where do they put the antenna? Ah, okay. They put it on the upper metal part. So I think I should get some screws and put it all back together. So now we need to get all the metal pieces on there and all the screws in, and perhaps also this plastic part. I think that should have gone on there before. Hey, but it fit. It looks like something is wrong there. Oh no. Okay, this just goes under there. So yeah. Perhaps we installed it in the wrong order. So this place goes on there before, but we installed thermal grease on all the chips, so we should also put some here. This makes also the installment of this aluminum piece very easy, because now it swims and is easier to... not really. Forget what I said. It's just a bad joke. So I find it a good idea or a good advice to populate these screws but not tighten them. Because what I found on some consoles, especially if you had the metal blocks removed from the chips, then it can happen that when you turn one screw and fasten it, that the metal block shifts a little bit and you won't find the other holes. So just put a couple of screws in there, preferred the diagonal ones, and after that you can fasten it. I think there were the black colored ones, and also I should put the metal part on there. So here's something special, because for whatever reason there are black screws here. And there are fine threaded screws in these holes. This feels wrong. Ooh, I notice I might have missed something. Ah, yeah, there we should have installed the pad. Oops. Okay. Okay. It needs to go there. I think it goes on this chip. Let me check. Yeah, looks correct. Ugh. I think I should clean my fingers before I leave thermally conductive fingerprints everywhere. Okay, installing the antenna. Well, I think just gluing it on here. So there's double-sided adhesive tape on the back of the antenna. Et voila. There's the antenna mounted. Beautiful. So I think we can now put on the top shell. Something is flexing. But I'm not seeing a collision. Okay, perhaps this plastic part is pushing down a little bit on the flex cable. Yeah, that could line up. Ah ja, und you need to line up the power switch. Yeah, it could be that the flex cable gets squished a little, but I think it's flexible enough. Yeah, after I bend it a little, it's fitting quite well. There's no screw in there. Beautiful. And there you can see the new HDMI output of this N64. Wait a minute. Why do they have a PixelFx logo and I don't have one? What a bummer. Okay. I think it's time for a test ride. Yoo-hoo! There is now an HDMI port or a mini HDMI port on this N64. Not AV anymore. Let's try it. It's on. No picture? Picture! Yay! That's nice. Beautiful. So, how can I enter the menu? Yeah, the on-screen menu is working. Ah, I use it that way. Eh? Okay, the L back R select. I should have looked on the menu. Can I have this in big? Yeah, that's better. I'm controlling. Okay, I really don't know what I should do here. Ah, no, was the correct button. Scan lines on, scan lines off. Oh. Vertical and horizontal. Nice. Oh, Wi-Fi firmware info. Okay, I think there are a lot of settings, but I think you can check all these settings for yourself. Or you can just play Turok. Ooh. How did the controls work in this game? Huh? Ah, okay. C buttons. Oh, okay, I didn't play this game for a very long time. And I'm gonna die. Or not. Okay. I think that's it so far. I hope you liked that video. Comments down below in the comments. Please give the video a thumbs up. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye. Ah. I want to have a little bit of fun. Whoa. Yeah. What was that? Looked like a glitch. Okay, I think you are not old enough for that game. Bye.
Yoink. Go.